Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Hashem El Shai B'Hashem Rakah Kodash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. This is going to be a real quick video. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, and then the dragons have the upper hand. And then the dragons have the upper hand. Now I'm going to read this from I'll start at the 28th verse. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 verse 28. And my belief is that this war, this commotion that's going on in the Middle East, Gaza, Israel declaring war against Hamas, and which is their word, by the way. Hamas to the Arabs is an acronym. You got to look it up. But the word Hamas, and a J lady, that they were the two women that were out there speaking to the elder from the Carolinas, not the Zakba, and the brother that reads for him, I don't know his name. And you had more men than women. You had two women, and you had some men with them, and you can see that they were all together, and they kind of split. The men kind of walked to the side and stood off to the side, and the main woman, the younger woman, started speaking. She said, "Can I interview you?" Asking him about what side do you take, and then she said, "Oh, so you take the Palestinian side?" He never said he took any side. Never said he took any side. That's these people putting words in other people's mouths. And people are waking up to this shit, the little tactics that you use. But anyway, the talk was about this current war and how then, the IDF is actually, that's a slaughter, a genocide. Matter of fact, Netanyahu called for genocide and he quoted Isaiah 60 and 18, which means he wants a whole Isaiah chapter 60 verse 18. He wants a whole chapter to come to pass, because if 18 verse come to pass, then the rest of the chapter has to come to pass. And that chapter speaks of putting the nations around you in slavery. So he's calling for not just getting rid of the Hamas and the Palestinians, but enslaving the whole world. So these Christian scholars, evangelists and so forth, these apologists, they should say something about that, because they all agree with the same thing, that the people over there and the land are the actual people, and that's the fulfillment of Scripture, which is not. 1948 is not a fulfillment of Scripture, because I would like to know which Scripture you're talking about. Anyway, you have the war, and my opinion, because it's only an opinion, the war might cool down, everything might go back to normal. But I believe that this war is going to keep going until the missiles come. And in the midst of that war, really with the Arab world, because now it's against the Arab world, because I did a video earlier, going into Yemen getting involved, and now Algeria, which is out of North Africa, heading east. Algeria, which is an Arab nation, you got a lot of Arabs in there, but that's an African nation. Morocco, African nation, but you have Arabs and you got some Africans, Hamites, Oh, Turkey. Turkey is not involved in a war on a physical level, but they stand with the Palestinian people. Then you have Iran, and now out of Iran you have Hezbollah, which comes out of Iran. So you have Iran that's a part of it, and Syria. They're having meetings in the east, you know, condemning this slaughter, this genocide, because it is a genocide. There has to be 20 plus thousand Palestinians, which mostly are civilians, men, women, old men, babies, pregnant women, toddlers, teenagers, that are being slaughtered. So it's going to escalate with more Arab nations being a part of it. So my take is, if everything calms down, which there's a ceasefire, so everything calms down, it might calm down altogether, but it will flare back up. The Lord said, he spoke about I'm paraphrasing Luke 12 verse 49. I believe it's the 49th verse. I come to bring fire on the earth, and what will I if it already be kindled? Meaning, when he comes back, there's going to be wars. That's going to be in the midst of what they call the Third World War, or the War of Armageddon. And after that war, after this man's taken down, that's after the Lord come back and the angels come back, pursuant to Revelation 12 and Daniel 8 and many other, Daniel 12, I'm sorry, and many other precepts. Then there's not going to be any more wars. Nations shall not learn war anymore. So you've been wondering when these prophecies are going to really come to pass. By the way, this is the year of all prophecies being fulfilled, and damn near all of them are fulfilled. The only one that's not fulfilled are three: the microchipping worldwide, the deliverance of the elect of Yasha'Allah, and the destruction of Babylon the Great, which means the destruction of this current beast system. So the war can simmer down, but it's going to flare back up. And if it continues to be right now it's a ground war. And if Iran gets involved, which they're showing the interest, Russia's backing them up, and China's backing them up. Russia, the United States, and put in order, United States, Russia, and China are the three top world powers, economically and militarily. So at one time there was two world powers, now there's three. And China's definitely going to take the side of Russia. The U.S. is definitely going to take the side of Israel. So let me read this precept, and then I'm going to introduce you to this video that I subscribe to. I'm even surprised it's on YouTube. It says, behold in horrible vision. Give me a second. It says 28th verse, 2nd Ezra, chapter 15. Let me make sure it's chapter 15. Chapter 15. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east. Oh, also Russia is in the east. It's known as Eastern Europe. northeast, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, instruments of war, tanks, missiles, fighter jets, whatever, ultimately missiles, and a multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So the world's going to fear and tremble, man, because the IDF didn't realize or didn't put into the equation that these other Arab nations are going to join forces. And this is what we're seeing. So we almost out of here, brothers and sisters. 30th verse. Also the Carmanians. Now, I did videos on the Carmanians. All you got to do is take the word Carmanian, go to Google, do a little search. The word Carmanian goes back to the word the Persians, or the Iranians. The people of Iran are the ancient biblical Persians. Remember the Medo-Persian Empire? The kingdom. You had two kingdoms, co-rulership. But the Persians became even more the powerful of the two. They were rocking, boy, back in the day. You could watch the movie 300. They had a vast military in the ancient world. So now they have this technology. They have access to the technology of the intercontinental ballistic missiles. So this is, all these comedic people, you don't talk that bull comedic. What's the point of me being a goddamn comedic person? Y'all, first of all, you don't go back to Africa. And there's no prophecies. Ain't no prophecies. Oh, you got to be for your African people. Why? For what reason? What the fuck reason? The Chinese is over there. You better learn how to speak. You go back to Africa, you better damn sure learn how to speak Cantonese. Some form of Chinese. What is it? Cantonese and Mandarin. Mandarin, that's one dialect of the Chinese language, and Cantonese. Because the Chinese take them Chinese men are popping your Hamitic woman and having half Chinese, half nigger kids. But the spirit that's in them, and the Moabites know this. The Chinese know that when you put your seed in a woman, that the seed, the child that comes from that union, is the father's. That's from the Bounty, the movie The Bounty, Mutiny on the Bounty, with this guy, the racist ass Melly Gibson. Had to throw that in there. And it was a scene in the movie where he popped the girl, and the chief realized that she was pregnant, right? And he called a meeting, and he said, what do you call him? Spencer Christian. He said, "You are in here now." And he pointed to his daughter's belly. So it's not half Polynesian, half Edomite. They show you that the nations understand that the seed, they had a thing called First Night, Prima Noctua. When you watch the movie, what's the movie about William Wallace? Somebody help me out. Can't think of the movie, but we saw it in the theater. And it was the Scots fighting against Great Britain, which they were all Jakes. They were Jake fighting against Jake. Those were Jakes back there. Them Scots back there were Jakes. Edward the Longshank, so to speak, Edward the First, he was they were Jakes. So they said, okay, you can marry your Scottish woman, but we get to pop them first, and then you can. This in slavery they did that. So for anybody that says that, well, you're a half breed, you don't understand the scriptures, and you don't have common sense. You are who your father is. So anyway, let me get back into this. Kind of went off on a little rant here on these Kemetic, because ain't nobody in their right mind gonna follow no goddamn Kemet bullshit. We are the Israelites, and if you can't see it, we're moving on. It says also the Carmanians, which are the Persians, do the research, which we here at GMS does. Unlike Bishop Nate, he researches certain things. He'll go into the Africa, and this part of Africa was known as Ephraim, and Ephraim was over here. But when it comes to certain words in the scriptures, he would not dare go into the Hebrew or the Greek. It says, for also the Carmanians raging in wrath or anger shall go forth as wild boars of the woods, and with great power, military power, shall they come and join battle with them. With the who? The other. See, the Carmanians are not Arabs. They're not Ishmaelites. They're Persians, which they're Elamites, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. The Assyrians is code for the U.S. It's in other words, Babylon. And I'm sorry, 31st verse. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. Those are the Arabs. It speaks about them being a what do they say? A wild. Matter of fact, I want to get the right wording. I believe it's a wild ass. Bear me for a minute. Okay, the very first precept, Genesis 16 verse 10. Let me click on this, open it up. I want to go a verse or two above that. Remembering his nature. And the angel of Yahweh said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitude. So there's a lot of Arabs out there, the Midianites, the sons of Keturah, the Ishmaelites, all these different groups out there are considered Arabs or Elam. And the angel of Yahweh said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shall bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael. So the angel said, look, this is what you're going to call him, which means he is heard of God, because the Lord have heard thy affliction. So guess what? The Lord was with this heathen woman. Every once in a while, the Lord is with these heathens. And he will be a wild man. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren, which are the other. That's why they call them all Arabs. Arabs just mean is Hebrew, Arab, which means mixed. So when Esau went over there to the Middle East, he didn't say, well, these are Ishmaelites, and these are Afghanis, and these are this nation, and these people speak Punjabi, and these people speak Farsi, and these people speak a certain dialect of Arabic. No, he said they're all Arabs. Gave them one name, Arabs. Hebrew word Arab, which means mix. So it said it's going to be a great multitude. So the Most High is going to use this multitude, the gathering of these other Arab nations, whether it be Arab, Elamites, whatever. You got Yemen that's involved. You got Hezbollah that's involved. You got, as of today, a couple of hours ago, you got Algeria, and they have a formidable army. They have a standing army. The Palestinians do not have a standing army. That's why they're getting slaughtered. The U.S. is backing Israel, right? Russia and China. Russia is backing Iran. If Russia backs Iran, China backs Iran. Because Russia and China have interests, economic interests, let's say, in Iran. So they're working together, man. You got the BRICS nations and you got the NATO and the EU. So this is getting hot. Hey, Hassan Campbell said he got in the car. He said that bullet's getting hot. Well, no, the Middle East is hotter than the bullet. It's going to get hotter. Like that song, Hot Music, it's going to get hot. You in a damn club or in a house and that music's playing, if you're sitting down, you're going to be bumping your shoulders up and down, bobbing your head, spilling your drink. So anyway, let me look up the word wild. And Jake is wild too. Jake is a wild ass used to the wilderness. Yeah, we're the wild ass. Ishmael is a wild man. And he will be a wild man. Look up the word wild. Okay, the word is wild ass. The word is para'a or para'a. Thus the wild ass. Wild ass. So it also means a wild ass. If you ever seen, video of an ass, they get wild. They're kicking and jumping and biting. Jake is a wild ass. Same word for the Genesis 16. A wild ass used to the wilderness. You see how Jake be running them stores grabbing shit? They're wild asses, man. But they cousins to Ishmael. They're cousins to Ishmael, man. Isaac and Ishmael are brothers. So we're cousins. So that spirit in Ishmael is kind of similar to Jake, although they're not Jake. If you're an Ishmaelite, your spirit is an Ishmaelite. But these people, I'll call them Arabs, they got a unified hate for this man. This is hate getting. Oh man, come on, man. You probably escaped. Your mother got killed. Your grandmother got killed. Your little sister got killed. For the rest of your life, you thinking vengeance, payback. You know? So let me come back over here. I think, you know what? I think I'm finished with this. Okay, remembering their nature, being a wild ass, just like Jake is a wild, it says wild man, But the word there is wild ass, para or para'a, which means not just wild, but a wild ass. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring, what does the word conspire to meaning Yemen joining forces, Iran thinking about joining forces, Syria thinking about joining forces, Algeria thinking about joining forces. Turkey is behind these people. You got Hezbollah, which is Iran. So what does the word conspiracy mean? It means to come together. NATO and the EU are a conspiracy. That's groups coming together. Conspiracy, con meaning with, and spire meaning to breathe together. Together in great power to persecute them. Who's the them? We know who the them are. Then these shall be troubled, bled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians, we know that's code for the Babylonian Empire, or the daughter Babylon, shall the enemies besiege them, come against them in war and battle, and consume some of them, and in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings, to prepare the ways, to prepare the kings. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and get that. I mean, you can read this. We are in Second Ezra, chapter 15, and coming into Second Ezra, chapter 16. What did I say I was going to look for? Sorry, let me come back. I'm sorry, Kings. Yep, I was looking for Kings. You know what? Let me just go to, I know what the precept is. Revelation 16. We're living in this right now. Let me jump up above this. We're in between the sixth and the seventh angel. Revelation 16 verse 12. And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the earth, the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up. Is not Euphrates dried up or drying up? That the way of the kings of the east might be what? Prepared. Who are the kings of the east? The Arab nations. They're joining forces. And if you go to Isaiah, I got to get this. These are scriptures that we know. Isaiah chapter 13. No, I'm sorry, 14. And I'm going to read that in the NLT. Isaiah 14 is about to come to pass. First two verses is about to come to pass. Babylon. We know that this is talking about this Babylon, the daughter of Babylon. Now remember, I'm in an NLT. In the place of the dead, there is excitement over your arrival. The arrival is this man going down. They see this man going down, and they're applauding at your arrival. The arrival is when you go down. The spirits of world leaders prepare the way of the kings, Revelation 16, and Prepare to the spirits of world leaders and mighty kings long dead stand up to see you. What's that right there? Let me read that again. The spirits of world leaders and mighty kings long dead stand up to see you. So what does that mean? Vocab alone. That's reincarnation. These different Arab leaders were back there fighting wars back in the ancient world. They have a system in Israel, and I was reading about it. I was going to do a video on it. It's a defense missile system that the IDF had possessed, and the word is Arrow. I think it's called the Arrow missile system or something to that effect. I can go ahead and look at it, look for it, but the word arrow is in there. So wait a minute. When we go to the scriptures and read about arrows, sometimes it's talking about actual arrows, but sometimes prophetically it's talking about the ICBMs, the missile system. In the U.S., if there's a ballistic missile that's stolen, they call it a broken arrow. They have a missile system called the Tomahawk missile. The Javelin. The Javelin is a rocket launcher, handheld rocket launcher, which is called the Javelin. So they're using those ancient words, Tomahawk. So this is what I wanted. The spirits of world leaders and mighty kings, long dead, stand up to see you. Did not the Lord say that in Matthew 12? It's around about the 40-some odd verse. It says, the queen of the south shall stand up and condemn you. The men of Nineveh shall rise up and condemn you. So that's reincarnation. Anyway, this is I just subscribed to this channel, and you must. Matter of fact, it's an order. Well, you know what? Let me take that back. It's not an order. You can do what you want to do, but you'd be a damn fool if you don't subscribe to this. So I'm not even going to put it out as an order. You don't want to subscribe to this? I subscribe to it, and I'm going to get inside information. This is called Open Mind Thinker Show. And this is the second video that I watched on this here channel, and I immediately, on the first video, I immediately subscribed and put in all notifications. And these people are telling, they pride themselves on telling you the other side of the news. And there's shit going on in the Middle East with that war that they ain't telling you, man. They ain't telling you. It says Al-Qasim Brigade stages biggest street-to-street resistance in Gaza. Why do you think they're calling for a 4-day ceasefire? Because they're getting fucked up too. They're getting fucked up on both sides. Meanwhile, you got all these different Arab nations, African nations, which are Arab, by the way. Algeria is a country in the continent of Africa, which happened to be controlled by Arabs. Let's say Egypt. Egypt is a black country. The people of Sudan, which is south of Egypt, those are the people. They look just like the ancient Egyptians. But they can't figure it out because the Mosai didn't open up their mind to figure it out. Them big, tall, black, ugly, dusty people. These 7'5" fucking women, 7'9", men 8'2". Manute Bo, I met Manute Bo. That dude was, he was so tall it was scary. He looked crazy as hell too. This is when he was in college. He was at Stanford University. I had a friend that went to Stanford, and he invited me up there, and we went to the gym. And he was saying, you see that guy right there? That's Manute Bo. That's before he became famous. His mother about as tall as him. His father is taller than him. He got a son. He got one son that's as tall as him, look just like him. So them people in Sudan, Esau chopped it up, North Sudan and South Sudan. Anytime you have a North different than North, that means Esau got involved in it. So you got Arabs that can completely control and govern Egypt. You got Arabs that completely control and govern Morocco. Arabs completely control and govern Algiers, which is an African nation for black people. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close it. I'm going to leave the link in the description box. And just based upon the first, well, this video alone, you're going to say, damn. And I'm surprised that this YouTube page is still up. I mean, they're coming with the facts. They cover the other side of the news that you don't hear about. And then you can watch Redacted, because they're telling you the other side of the news, with Natalie and Clayton Morris. Look what it says right here, 5 hours of 5 hours. And things are happening within hours. You wake up the next morning, oh, breaking news, this happened, breaking news, that happened. Algiers calling himself joining forces, it was breaking news as of this morning. It says here, Saudi Arabia sanctioned Israel. Saudi Arabia sanctions Israel and shocks the entire world. So I got to watch that. This is also Open Mind Thinker Show. The best Palestinian resistance video of all time. Israel's army on retreat from Deir al-Balah. Now in war, all wars are based upon, that's a famous saying, all wars are based upon deception. If you're losing, you can't tell the people that you're losing. You tell them that we're gaining ground when you might be losing ground. That's what Sun Tzu, The Art of War, was all about. There was something else I wanted to say. The first casualty of war, the first death in war, is the truth. You got to lie. You're losing, you got to tell them that if you're losing, you tell your men that we're losing, the spirit of war is going to go out of them, man. You're going to put fear in their heart. When Gad fought, what did Gad say? It's a good day to die, because they knew they might die. So they went in that spirit, I could die this day, but I'm good with dying. Then they'll come back to the village, somebody buddy might have died or whatever. And the way Gad fought, Gad fights like these Arabs fight, man. Kind of like the same the ancient Israelites, man, and the Shemites. They all fight in guerrilla warfare. Gad fights. The reason why they gave Esau so much trouble, because they fought with a style called guerrilla warfare. Well, that's how they fought back in the ancient world. Gad, Reuben, Manasseh, Judah, and a lot of them tribes fought that wasn't supposed to fight. Judah was fighting. Judah was out there fighting during the time of David. Those were Judites out there, along with Gad and the rest of the tribes. The only ones that didn't fight was Levi, but they can fight too. Who you think was holding the cattle with swords in their hand when they were going into the promised land? Levi. You roll up on Levi the wrong way, they're going to chop you up. And there's all kind of hell going on down there with them gangs down there in Haiti. So things are happening, man. If it tarry, wait for it. It shall not tarry. It shall surely come. We're in the part of it shall surely come. We don't got to tarry no more. The only thing left is the charagma and then the deliverance and destruction. So we can be out this bitch sometime in 2024. That'd be nice. This is as of 11 hours ago. Same channel, open-minded thinker show. Lebanon dares Israel, fires missiles. This is Lebanon. This is Lebanon. Lebanon dares Israel, fires missiles on Israel army bases in Tel Aviv. You know about Tel Aviv, right? Where the happy people go. Despite ceasefire. Ooh! They call it ceasefire. But the Lebanese saying, nah, we ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep. So this is, hey, this shit is getting out of hand. Let me go to the map. This is Lebanon, right? Let's go to the map like Mr. Whoopi. Inside joke. I went over your head. Where's it? Where the hell is that? That's Yemen. They joined forces with Palestine. That's Algeria. And you know Libya want to get down. Egypt might just get down. Where's I'm looking for Lebanon. Where's Lebanon? Where's Lebanon at? Lebanon is around up in here, if I'm not mistaken. You got Iran, you got Afghanistan, you got Iraq. So that whole prophecy of Gog and Magog is talking about now Bishop Nathaniel. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.